So, Bragbook guys, tell us a little bit about your product.
To give a brief summary of what the service does, it's basically an online career portfolio. A Bragbook is a slang term for a career portfolio. It's one that's often used in sales and marketing positions, and the Bragbook online service allows you to upload and incorporate multimedia files like an introduction video, your resume, items that would belong to your portfolio, such as reports that you've done or PowerPoint presentations, references, things about you personally, and as well as awards and achievements such as a degree. So it provides a more complete, full picture of who you are as a candidate. You can upload any file that you want, any audio file, video file, Word document, Excel file, PowerPoint, PDF, JPEG, any images that you want. It pretty much takes any digital file and incorporates it into the Bragbook.
People, Audrey always says about researching, people that you're going to be interviewing with. Well, it's great for them to kind of see you beforehand, too. It kind of tells the story.
Audrey and I do feel, we've talked about this before about people being afraid that they're going to be discriminated against.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
When I see a gray image or something blotted out, I get the impression that there's a reason why they don't want to show themselves. And it kind of makes me think they're even spookier than they really are.
Right.
So I think,
Peter, I absolutely agree with you. That 100%, because I got
maybe they have a Fu Manchu and they're trying to.
Yeah, that's right.
What we believe is that by giving the option to create a video, this actually helps the candidate prepare for the interview, so they can practice in front of the camera. They can see themselves, how they're talking, how they're using their hands, their body language, and they will see a reflection of what the employer will see when they're sitting on that chair there. It's good practice. And it's something you can just go up to the camera, stop recording, and then sit back down and redo it. And then when you go on the interview, they've seen you, they heard what you sound like, what you look like, and when you sit down, you can just go through exactly what you talked about on camera with the employer.
Because you've practiced.
Exactly, and it's beneficial for you, especially when this is something that involves your livelihood. So why not take the time to maybe use the technology that's available to sit down and practice this?
Do you gentlemen critique when they come in? Are they coming in to meet with you to do the video, or is this something they do with the webcam at home?
Yeah, it's something that they would do on their own. We have presence on campus. We set up days on campus where we have students come in and work with career services, and we set up a day where we walk them through the introduction videos. So we do have it. But typically, for the mass audience, they would be doing it on their own.
Through their webcams?
Through their webcams or an iPhone or any other camera.
Okay. Is it a website that they get? It's a personalized website?
Right. They will have a customized profile page that they can share in an encrypted link for X amount of days. So if they want that employer to see their Bragbook for 7 days, they can select 7 days. If they want to keep it open for a longer period of time, they can do that. They can share it from the site, or they can generate a link and embed it into a resume document or in a form when they sign up through a company online.
Or on their LinkedIn, they can add that?
Or on their LinkedIn.
Okay. That Peter and I were sitting down one day having a cup of coffee, and we were talking about what makes Bragbook, what actually distinguishes somebody when using Bragbook. And you think about it, if you look at on TV, you look at SportsCenter, you look at all these athletes, and you see the top athletes all the time on TV. Why? Why do you see those top athletes all the time? It's because they're always showing highlights of their best plays. They make the best plays. They make the best catches, home runs all the time. So you think of it, they're actually selling these athletes visually and audibly, and that's why you remember them. And something like that will stick out with an employer. They're going to see someone talking on camera. Maybe you can add a few clips of you actually performing some of the activities at your job or on school, working projects. And that sticks to the mind. That's something that the employer will always remember, and they'll be like, wow, I want to bring this person in and talk a little bit more about, one, how he made the video, and two, the activities he was performing in the video. So
certainly, and I think that when an employer brings somebody in, they want to see how that person sells themselves, because they want that person to sell their company in a similar manner.
Sales, like sales oriented?
No, it goes across the board.
Okay.
But I think that all companies are selling something, whether it's a product or a service, and they want somebody that can represent their company in a way that stands out. And if they can represent themselves in a way that stands out, those are the type of skills that they're looking for.
Is there any particular majors that you find, and degrees and industries and career paths that you find would benefit more than not, like more so from Bragbook?
Obviously sales.
It's like Peter said, it's all around the board. It's a matter of how creative you are. So even if you're in technology, as dry as it may seem, you can use the technology that you know about to make a creative collage and montage and video of all the works that you've done, all of your certificates and your presentations you might have put together. But as far as an advantage, the obvious is the visual work, like the painters and the artists and the videographers and the photographers. They can use that to their advantage by showing all of their works and their portraits. But again, it's across the board. If you have the ability to reach out to somebody that has the capability of putting together a video for you, or maybe photoshopping or PowerPointing a nice collage, that just shows that you went above and beyond to show yourself in a visual form and validate everything you can do.
Yeah, and our slogan is, why send a resume when you can send a brag book? So if you're in a profession that requires you to send out a resume to the employer, you can replace that resume with a brag book.
I do agree that every employer you send that brag book to, well, I guarantee will open that thing up. Can employers look at your Facebook and stuff like that? You're not employed yet, so they absolutely, if you're offering it, you're opening a door, they're going to look at it.
Yeah, and the reason why they ask for your social media, maybe user ID and passwords or profiles.
Which is illegal. I'm going to keep saying it out loud. It's illegal, illegal, illegal.
But if you think about it, the reason why they're asking for that is because it's a need, it's a want, and there isn't another avenue they can reach out to that the candidate can provide.
Yeah, they want to make sure that the candidate is going to represent their organization the way they want to be represented. They want to make sure that they have a professional aura about them.
Yeah. If I got everybody's brag book and maybe there's something I didn't see, it still gives me the opportunity to see them, and I would say, well, let's see how if I ask these questions. It's just like if I was looking at a film of a football guy, hey man, his work ethic is great, he does this well, let's throw some other things there. And I'd almost probably gear my interview around what he would say on the brag book.
What happens is with a brag book, when you're actually viewing someone talking about themselves and their professional qualifications and skills, before you actually make a decision to bring them in, they can make a decision whether they want to bring them in or not before they waste their time bringing them into the waiting room and then spending maybe a half hour, an hour trying to get information out of someone who can't express how their work ethic is or what their qualifications are.
So you're saying make the brag book video as perfect as it can be. Work out the kinks ahead of time. Work out your nerves, shake them out ahead of time. Get it off your chest so that you make your video. If you have to do it 20 times to make it as perfect as it can be, because that's going to show a better impression for getting an interview.
Well, yeah, and it's going to require work to create a brag book. So the effort that you put into that and the effort that you research yourself and the skills that you have and how you can validate those skills through your experiences, that's going to help you in the interview process, A. And then B, really, how do candidates differentiate themselves in a time when we have a lot of unemployed people that are looking for the same positions? So that's an area that we think this can really help a candidate stand out from the 100 resumes that they received. And when an employer receives the brag book, without even looking at the content, they're going to know a few things about that person. They put in a lot of effort to make it. They're technologically savvy, they're creative, and they really want the position. So if I'm an employer and I see that compared to what everybody else did, I'm going to go ahead and give that person a shot to talk with me in the interview.
How do you, if someone's completing it, let's say I decide that I want to work at Macy's over the holidays and I have to go online and fill out their online application, how do you add the brag book link to an online application?